Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Demonologist UK podcast, welcoming everybody from mediums to investigators, skeptics to believers, demonologists, parapsychologists and everybody in between. It's really good to have you all locked in, and I'm looking forward to this week's show. I finally got my studio set up. So yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. I'm really happy that we are starting this week. And once again, welcome to the Demonologist UK podcast. It's going to be a great one. This week we've got Jaqueline Dixon on the show. We'll be talking to her about her live streams on the paranormal path, and we'll also be talking to her about her experiences with haunted antiques and experiences in the paranormal world. Now before we get to that, a couple of things that I've got to mention. Firstly, next week I have Sean Irwin on. It's my last live stream / podcast that I'll be doing because of Christmas. You know, it falls on a Friday this year. It's a bit of a weird one, bit of a mad one. But yeah, we're going to be doing that. Next week will be the last one for me. We got Sean Irwin on next week. Don't forget to check out the official sponsors of the podcast. That's Journey of the Spirit and the National Paranormal Investigators UK. Just type that in on Facebook and go over there and check it out. When we come back in the new year, we've got some exciting guests coming on the show. So now, without further ado, I'm going to invite Jaqueline on. Sorry, I just totally nearly lost it there. And we're going to get started with this week's paranormal podcast. Jaqueline, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, thanks. How are you doing?
Sorry, say again. Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah.
I've got you loud and clear. Welcome, Jaqueline. This is the first time you've been on since the paranormal debate.
Yeah, that's it. That was fun.
Well, it was great. The debate was an absolutely brilliant experience for everybody. I mean, we had some really good topics on there, but it was great to get you on by yourself and finally actually get to see your background in the paranormal and actually sort of delve into it and see what experiences you've had and that. Now, I know you run a page called the Paranormal Path. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
What made you get into like starting a page and doing all these live streams?
Well, I do a few lives on there, but I do some for the Haunted Antiques channel, which is Neil Packer's channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I generally do them for there, but I do one or two on my own page.
Yeah.
I try and do I generally set it up for live streams.
Yeah.
So that I could go out, investigate, and actually, do a live investigation, something like that.
Yeah.
On the page. It's also for everyone else to share from the smaller teams.
Okay.
So I'm not interested in the teams sharing who have loads of viewers and they're out every night in Scotland or wherever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to support the teams who go out, who genuinely investigate and just go out and try and get evidence, really.
Yeah, because that's the main goal. I mean, these bigger teams that have actually gone out there and they've got all these viewers and that, they're very experienced. It's good to give a platform to sort of the people that are not so recognised in the paranormal world. Yeah,
that's it. And also through that, I was invited to join something called Para-Unity.
Okay.
So basically, it's a couple of people. They've invited so many groups to actually join.
Okay.
So Paranormal Path is actually within that umbrella.
Brilliant.
So it's nice that we all support each other. There's people from Japan, Canada, Australia, US and UK. So,
wow.
It's really interesting. And you get to talk to different people around the world as well.
And it's sort of the difference in culture as well. I mean, cultural differences, because like you mentioned, people like from Japan and China and Canada, they will have a different outtake on the paranormal. So it gives you that sort of extra element.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But, we've got a similar methodology, really. We sort of have the same beliefs. We've had a discussion once on Paranormal Path, which was amazing.
All right.
Where we're just looking at various techniques for investigations.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it sort of plays to the strengths of the paranormal community because of the pure fact of you can share those techniques. I spoke to a guy a little while ago, and he suggested that when people do spirit boxes, they should have headphones in and then ear defenders over the top and then a blindfold, and then the investigator would then talk to him, but he can't hear him, and then he would shout out any words that he picks up on the spirit box.
Yeah, the Estes method.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one. And I
I
mean,
love that one. Yeah.
I've never ever come across that, and without talking to these people, I would never have known that this even existed. So what you're doing with the paranormal path and this para-unity, this group that you've got going, it's amazing because it allows people to sort of share their experiences. I mean, have you come across any other techniques that you've never heard of that these other people are using?
Yeah, we just chat in the para-unity chat one day, and somebody mentioning using whistle.
Oh, okay. So how would you use a whistle in an investigation?
Just use it, and just check, could change the atmosphere or something like that. So,
Oh, okay.
like some people can use a bell, like in the traditional seances at the beginning, they
Yeah.
actually use the bell and things like that.
Okay.
So, it is interesting. There's so many techniques, and there's no real right or wrong way of doing things either. Well, there are wrong ways, but if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah,
it's trial and error in it when you're out there in the field. It is trial and error. I mean, like you said, using the whistle is more of a modern technique to when investigators used to use like singing bowls and stuff like that.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I agree. I
I've
mean,
tried those as well. But yeah.
it's something you wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have spoke to these other sort of these people that are out there doing it on a regular basis. So yeah, no, it's great. I mean, the paranormal path. I mean, I watched your I read that article you sent me as well. I'm going to ask you a few questions about that in a bit. But
Right.
I
Okay.
also saw you had, I think it was the Spirit Seekers on there the other day. You had the three people from the Spirit. I think they're called Spirit Seekers.
Well, I just share those pages, or let people share on there just to get the content out. Really.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's great. I just got to send a shout out to everyone that's locked in. Kathy Adams, regular, always locked in. Also got Ben and Lou, Sir Winfield of Derby himself, and out to Al Crossier, who's locked in as well. I mean, the Booth the Paranormal Path. I mean, I post in there a lot. I share a lot of my podcasts in there, and it's got a lot of people like joined that. I mean, you must be very proud of what you've achieved with the Paranormal Path.
Yeah, I've been helped along the way as well. I was asked to do a show about a year or so ago, and I actually got talking to a guy on that show, and he put a few sort of viewers my way, sort of thing, a few likes my way.
Yeah, no,
And I get on really well with him, to be honest. And it's lovely just how you meet people from around the country.
yeah,
And much as I can't get out now, in time, I've got people I want to visit in Bristol, Scotland, and all over, really.
yeah. I mean, getting yourself out there and exploring the different
Oh, I do
locations.
too.
I mean, you can imagine it like the different experiences you've had. I mean, have you ever been to like a location and you've experienced like something demonic or something negative? Have you ever had that?
Mm. I question demonic, really. I don't know. Yeah, there's been negative energy.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know about the demonic side because I work in love and light, but sometimes there is something around which is sort of different.
yeah,
Yeah.
mm,
I went to, well, one of my first encounters was at, well, major encounter up
yeah.
close and personal was at Matlock Pavilion. And there's
Okay.
something really dark energy on the stage area. And we were in the auditorium, and a few of us were standing there in a circle.
Mm.
Me and another girl were facing the stage, and this dark energy just got stronger and stronger, and then it got a face on it.
Oh, okay.
And me and the person next door to us just like looked at each other and like, wow, like that was absolutely amazing. But then you do know a character who sort of hangs around the stage area
Yeah,
and got to know his like sad story and everything. So yeah, it's amazing. But I question sometimes if they are demonic or if for some reason they're angry about why they've passed or something,
mm,
what's caught, if the, why they're still hanging around basically.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there is a very big jump between negative and demonic. Obviously, I asked the question because that's where my interest lies within the paranormal, with the
Yeah.
demonic. Hi Terry, how you doing? It's good to have you locked in. But yeah, you saying to me a little while ago that you had some experiences with. I don't know whether it was at HAPRC, the Hinkley Antiques Paranormal Research Centre,
Yes.
or if it was just with haunted antiques in general. I mean, but did you want to elaborate on the experiences you had? Because obviously we had Neil and Jane on last week, so it's sort of it rolls. It's great that we've got you on this week because it sort of rolls off of what we was talking with them about. So.
Yeah, about I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago, I ended up going to Haunted Antiques, and usually you sort of go to a location, it's all about a building, it's all about the history.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're in this surrounding with all these like artifacts around, none of which are deemed as being haunted or anything. Mm-hmm. So, and basically I find that if you can touch things and you get energy, you might get sort of feelings or sensations, or even I do pick up images sometimes as well.
Yeah.
And like Neil never really sort of says anything about the items, but then if you tell him what you get, and somebody else might have done the same.
Oh, okay,
so everything's recorded, so it's nice to get things validated, really.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, validation is what we do this for. It's what we do. So, I mean, people ask me all the time, why did you go out and put yourself through that traumatic experience? You sort of think to yourself, most people go out to a pub or a bar on a Friday night and they have a little dance around, and they get a few bevies in, and people like me and you and all the other people out there that do investigating, we like to go out and talk to ourselves,
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's random, isn't it? But I love it.
yeah. I mean, people ask me what attracts me to it. I mean, what attracts you to it, Jaqueline? Why do you feel so drawn to investigating?
You don't know what you're going to get. Like, you go on a night out, you have a few drinks, you get drunk, all that. And it's not the same-ish, obviously. You have a laugh, but you kind of make memories when you do paranormal. Like, generally, I do get activity. I don't know, but, somehow, whether it's the people I sort of mix with.
Yeah.
I tend to sort of go out with friends. I've started booking locations now where I'll sort of ask friends to come along. And we've done 2 sessions at Haunted Antiques where we were getting picked up on at a time and people getting overshadowed, which was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Like the physical side quite a lot as well.
I don't know what happened there. I completely apologise to everybody that's listening. For some reason, my laptop has just decided to disconnect it. So hopefully we're still live. But
we are.
Yeah, I've got mine next to me as well. Yeah, you were saying, like, I mean, creating memories and things like that. I mean, it's what we do it for. And you were saying you booked up, you went to HAPRC. I mean, the amount of teams that have been there. And we was talking to Neil and Jane last week. It's amazing. The experiences you have. I mean, what experience did you have at HAPRC, and with what objects?
That's a good question, mate. Ben knows this.
Yeah.
Ben knows this very well. First time I went, there was a little red wax covered a box which was covered in red wax.
Oh, okay.
It had just arrived at the centre, and for some reason was drawn to it. I don't know why, but I don't know. It was called a debug box. Obviously, we know it's debatable whether they're real or, how many are real or whatever, because some of them have been proved not to be. So, I don't know. Anyway, I held it. And somebody took a photo of me and my face changed.
Oh, okay.
So, but also, what was amazing was the fact that in between me holding it and it arriving a few days before, Jane Rowley, who's the medium there, she actually drew an image of what she got from the box.
Oh, okay.
And my face had actually changed to look like that image.
Wow. So almost like a transfiguration, almost.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was transfiguration. It's also captured on a photo as well.
Oh, okay.
So there is a photo of that circulating. I've got a copy of it anyway. And I don't know, I was just fascinated by this object. Oh. And then when I left, I got a click in my ear, and it was weird, intermittent, just a click, whatever. Then I went back to Haunted Antiques. Straight away, I felt like I wanted to go and see this box again.
Right.
So I went, it's clicking as well. When it first got there, it was actually sitting on the table, it's clicking like crazy. Just static click, I don't know why. There's nothing around it to cause it. It was just clicking to itself, which was, an object making a noise, but I don't know. I don't get that. Anyway, the second time I went, I think it was like an event, so you're a bit more restricted. But I did nip and go and see it. But then at the end of the night, I sort of said, well, can I go and hold it? So I went and held it again. Yeah. And then there's like white light. It looked like white light coming out of the box towards me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, a lot of these white lights or dust, everything else under the sun, fair enough, you know. Yeah. I don't believe. But this was an abundance of light coming from this box. There is a factor again, and I don't know. Who does know? That's the question. Like, it is a big white light.
Yeah.
And then I started finding that, get this click again, one click, my right ear.
Yeah.
Then I started recognising it and going, oh, okay, I've heard it. Then it will stop.
Oh, okay.
Then after a while, every time about 1 to 2 weeks before I went to Haunted Antiques, I'd get a click in my ear again. Acknowledged up. And this was like, it happened whenever I was going. Right. And then one particular time I was due to go on a Friday night, and it didn't do it. No clicking. So I thought, oh, okay. So, you know, this theory of this box doing this before I visited the Haunted Antiques, that must be wrong, you know. You know, just me being silly then. The event was cancelled.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't go.
So do you think if you actually returned back to HAPRC that you would get the same clicking again?
Oh, yeah, it's done it frequently.
Wow.
You know, this was like 1.5 years ago, and like the amount of interaction I've had from then since is just unbelievable. I was there with MJ Dixon, Laurie Schaefer, Corinne as well.
Wow, name dropping.
Sensation. And we went, and there's just a few of us doing an investigation, and Laurie actually managed to get a flare, and there's thermal actually coming from, there's heat actually coming from the box.
Oh, wow. So is it confirmed that this is an actual Dybbuk box, or is it just rumour that it's a Dybbuk box?
How do you know? That's the thing. How do you know what it is?
Some of them are quite blatant because they contain those Solomon seals on them, and they're mirrored on the inside to keep the darkness in. But I mean, have you seen inside the box?
No, it's not open, but it's trying to get out.
Oh yeah, so you don't want to open that, no.
Well, it's not mine, but basically, ever since I've been going, the wax is disappearing.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So it's quite strange what's happening with it. Neil actually did a live show once where he basically got that as an item of the day.
Oh, okay.
So he was asking questions of it. And I was getting these real random questions. And, you know, like, what's in the box? And I've got a girl and a boy. And I said, is there a winged serpent in there? And he's using a pendulum, and it is yes.
Oh.
And I was linking in with it, and I was getting all these questions, and it's like, yeah. And I said, the box wants to go in front of the mirror. Now, in Haunted Antiques, there's a great big mirror.
Yeah, I remember they were talking about it last week. Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely awesome, and it's a portal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Neil was saying that it was a portal, and Ben was telling me about it a little while ago, about this portal mirror. It's very, very, very infamous, from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Anyway, this box was sort of, I don't know if it's communicating or I was getting something to say, like, it wanted to go in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
So Neil actually left it in front of the mirror, and some of the wax cracked off it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So it's just odd, and like, it seems like more recently, well, it's under a case now, but the wax was slowly disappearing off the box as time went on.
Wow. I mean, that's crazy, but it'd be nice to see if there's some sort of, if we do go down there, if someone goes down, if they can get a natural explanation for that, to sort of see if there is. I mean, it would be nice, but it's one of them things. I've never heard of anything like that happening before, so it's cool. I mean, HAPRC itself, as much as everyone makes out. It's a great place to visit, especially if you're a team, because of the amount of antiques in there. And I said to Neil and Jane last week, do you believe the place is so haunted because of the antiques that are in there? I mean, I thought I'd ask you as well, because you visited there. Do you believe that place is majorly haunted because of the antiques that are in there, or is it just the building itself?
You've got a lot of items going in there. Some of them hold energy and some don't.
Yeah.
So you've got the combination of all different things. There's an air raid shelter gone in there.
Yeah.
When that first arrived, the day it arrived before it was put up, I was at Haunted Antiques and we did a seance, and it turned out that a family had actually, well, it was actually said that a family had come with the air raid shelter.
Oh. Okay,
and we actually got through that the family had arrived. All of a sudden, they travelled from where it was from. Well, they ended up in Hinckley, and all these other spirits were trying to communicate with them.
Wow.
This is how it came through on the board, and it was like mad.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like they were thinking, "What the hell? Where am I?" And and it's so bizarre, but that's paranormal, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, paranormal is bizarre. That's what it is. The word paranormal itself, in definition, means something above normal, doesn't it? So, paradox to normality, almost. I mean, Chelsea likes your Christmas tree, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's different. It's got butterflies on.
Chelsea also saying she was going to buy one of them boxes, but she say they shouldn't be open. I mean, Chelsea, stay away from stuff like that. I mean, when you talk about Ouija boards and Dybbuk boxes, unless you're experiencing it, I completely advise on this channel to stay away from it, especially if you're under the age of 18. I saw the other day, they are posting up. What was it? I saw it was on one of the newspapers. They're doing Ann Summers are doing a Ouija board now. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy, the stuff they're coming up with now. I mean, they're literally mocking the paranormal world, which is just terrible. But yeah, I want to talk to you about your experiences out as an investigator. Now, is there a standout place in mind that comes to you and you go, yeah, that's where I had my best experience?
Well, Haunted Antiques, yeah. I've had so many experiences there, but also Matlock Pavilion.
Mm-hmm. And where is that, sorry?
Right, it's Matlock Bath, which is South Derbyshire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's South Peak District, really.
Oh, okay.
So it's part of the Peak District. Back in the day, it was used as a theatre. Yeah. So obviously, it's got an auditorium, it's got a stage. So there would have been all that energy there.
Yeah.
It was sold to the townspeople for £1. So basically, they've got it as a charity and they're working to do it up and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Old events there. I've been on quite a few, and I'd had a lot of encounters. Yeah. I lived in a pub which was haunted, ?
Right.
I had quite a lot of activity in the pub, but I kind of ignored it.
Wow.
And then one night I went to Matlock Pavilion, and it was one of my first private events.
Oh, okay.
So I'd actually worked on a team before and done a few sort of events, team events, things like that. But this particular event, it was full of really experienced people and mediums.
Oh, right, okay.
So for some reason that night, sort of from a mediumship perspective, I was picking up everything. I was picking up people around me. I was picking up emotions. Patricia Ann Ferrara is a great trance mediumship who's worked with Leslie Smith.
Yeah.
And she does trance mediumship. And she went in a room and she brought this character through. But I actually knew who the character was straight away.
Oh,
I was picking it up as she was. And I felt his energy. And then I saw her girl actually drown in her face as well. Because a girl had actually drowned outside the pavilion. The parents are actually at a dance or something. The kids were playing by the river and the girl drowned.
Oh, okay.
And he picked up the grief of this. Well, on the trance mediumship space, I actually picked up the girl drowning.
Yeah.
But then when I later on went around the building, I actually met the spirit of her mom.
Oh, okay.
And I felt the sorrow and the heartache and everything. Wow. That was really strange that night because, I had I have stepped up mediumship since then, but then, I'd never experienced anything like it.
Mm.
So it's really weird. I don't know if you're shown things through your path of life.
Yeah.
And I was doing development. Then all of a sudden, like one night, I was picking things up and I was being shown things.
Okay.
And right at the end of the night, it seemed like this little girl sort of stepped in ? So basically, this girl sort of seemed to have control of my body.
Yeah.
I had my mind. I was trying to speak, but I couldn't work out how to speak.
Yeah.
And we're holding hands in a circle. And the little girl got me to do the hokey cokey.
Oh, okay.
So I've met all these people who are really experienced. And, you want to go to your first big private event with not being an idiot. And they are doing hokey cokey. Well, at the same time, I started laughing like crazy. And then my mind was saying to my mouth, get it out of me. But I couldn't speak.
Right.
So it took me ages for me to say that, to actually say it to the people around me to sort the issue out, because I just couldn't control it.
Oh wow! I mean, it sounds like one of them experiences where it's you wasn't developed as a medium per se to the point where you was comfortable, but it just happens. I mean, I've had mediums on the show before that have said that sometimes you just can't help what happens. I mean, with your developmentship as a medium, I mean, how far are you along now? Do you portray yourself as a medium, or are you more of an investigator that is slightly psychic, say?
I would never call myself a medium.
No.
I had lessons. The lessons came to me just before I lost my mum.
Yeah.
Then I started having lessons with friend Barry John.
Oh, okay.
And that's more recently. Last year I sort of had some then. And I sort of levelled up quite a bit then.
Yeah.
And I got to be able to do readings, and was getting to the stage where I can actually stand in front of people and give a reading.
Oh, okay.
So we did that a few times in class, where we would stand and then we'd get something and sort of give information, which was amazing. But, I haven't done that for a while. I kind of feel it really kind of different from paranormal. Okay, you're still linking in, but instead of bringing someone's loved ones through, where you're giving a message, you're actually trying to speak to the person who's communicating, aren't you? So
it's more of it's more of a personal level when you're giving the reading as a medium to somebody like that, whereas when you're out on investigation, it's almost as if like you're looking in on what's happened, whereas when you're giving that reading, you're in the mix almost.
That's it.
I mean, I completely agree with that. That's. I mean, I had development. I done development. This is what got me into the line of work that I'm in now. But do you see your mediumship or your psychic abilities as a tool for your investigations?
Yeah, definitely. I want to communicate. I want to get answers, and you can't do that with a kid, in a way.
Yeah. Well, you can.
You can to some degree, but it's nice, I use gadgets for backup.
Yeah.
But like, I could say that I can see something, if I see something I can sort of describe, but then somebody will look and like, well, you're saying that.
Yeah.
You can describe something you see, okay, if somebody else has been there and they've got the same, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you've got a piece of kit which actually says that something's around, if you got an SB7 which actually comes out with the name of what you've said, or the Ouija board which actually says the name, if another group do that after you've said, not knowing what name you've said.
Yeah.
I always put things like probability as well. Yeah. Like, if something happens, it's like, well, what's caused it? Can it happen again? What's the odds of it being like a radiator making a noise, or but then if the things are doing things on demand, then why is that happening? It's very rare that I'd say something's paranormal, just unexplainable.
I mean, I'm when I go out investigate, I'm more of a science first and feelings afterwards, but I think that's down to personal preference. When you're out investigating, I've just learned over time that science seems to have a little bit more clout than feeling, but that's just my sort of way of looking at things. I mean, with you with the paranormal path, with the people that you interview, obviously you learn a lot of things along the way, because they obviously give up techniques and stuff like that. I mean, is there a certain technique when you're investigating that stands out in your mind that you are guaranteed to get results while you're out investigating?
You're never guaranteed.
No, it's true. I didn't think of that actually when I asked the question.
Yeah, but right, I did do a few investigations of Dixon, who uses a DR60, which is absolutely amazing piece of kit.
Okay, right. I don't think I've ever heard of that. What's a DR60?
Yeah, it's actually a voice recorder. It's one of the early ones.
Oh, okay.
So when they used to be used, it was probably picking up too much, so they did a newer model.
Oh, okay.
They're now retailing at about £1,500.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a decent bit of kit at that price.
Yeah, that's right. Just for a little pocket voice recorder. That's all it is. It's quite old as well. It's not like you don't put an SD card in it either.
Wow. Yeah, well, if it's older, it's not going to have that sort of technology. I mean, I want to ask you, because like you said, you've been on investigations. Jaqueline, you've name dropped some big names out there, and you've seen the way these people work. I mean, I want to ask you, when it comes to investigating, do you find that the modern sort of things work, or is it better to return to the old school because you seem to get better results with the more old school equipment that you use?
It's just a mixture. It depends where you are. It depends what era it is.
Yeah.
I just went to a local air raid shelter at the weekend, and I took a cat ball, and for about 45 minutes, this cat ball was flashing on demand.
Oh.
I told it to stop, it stopped. I've got footage, I'll put it onto YouTube.
Yeah.
But I actually went with a skeptic as well, because obviously we're restricted. I just went with the person who's in my bubble, my best friend. She's not particularly into paranormal.
Yeah.
And we just got activity in this bomb shelter.
Wow, it's good to see you're sticking to the COVID rules, actually. It's good to see you're sticking to them.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's right. You've got to, haven't you?
Yeah. At the end of the day, I mean, even though the vaccine's around now, we're all still told that we're all going, I mean, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. I mean, it has spoiled a lot of things for a lot of teams out there, but I think a lot of teams are going to come back with that sort of, and a lot of people like myself who work in the demonology field, the parapsychologists, the healers, the people that work with angels, I think we're all going to come back with a massive bang when this all sort of blows over, when it eventually does. I mean, what's your plans when this COVID sort of pisses off? Excuse my French.
We hope so, don't we?
Yeah.
I've booked 2 nights at Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre.
Yeah.
Basically, I've invited a few people sort of to join me throughout sort of a number of locations I'm going to book throughout the year.
Yep.
So I aim to sort of work with different energies to see what we can pick up, all experienced people.
Yeah.
And just try and get some evidence.
That'd be great. It'd be great. I mean, if you can for us, Jaqueline, if you do get any evidence once you get out there, post it up on the Demonologist UK Facebook. It'd be nice for the listeners out there and everyone that's sort of live now and listens later on to see this sort of evidence. I'd done the same last week with Neil and Jane. I stuck up. It was like I don't know if it was in the mirror that you're talking about, the portal mirror, but there's someone was doing some scrying in it, and their face had like these horns, and I was just like that's, and the little alien picture, I haven't posted that one up yet. That I'm still trying to work that one out. Yeah. I mean, I am still trying to work that one out.
It's so easy to rule things out as well, isn't it? Because I argue everything to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Try and rule it out, and then sometimes you can't. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm majorly harsh when it comes to going over evidence as well. I mean, you've got to be. That's just the way it is. Yeah. It's got to be. But yeah, no, Jaqueline, like some of the stuff you've been doing as well. I want to talk about this article that you read, that you wrote. It was based on one of your experiences that you had at HAPRC, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What objectives it is about, just to sort of explain to the listeners out there what this article's about, and if you can, when we finish here, if you can post it up on on the Facebook page, they can have a read about it.
Yeah, I've written 3 articles for Living Paranormal magazine. 2 have been published. One is due to come out at some stage when the next edition comes out.
Yeah.
It is actually an article about the little red box.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I've gone into detail on that, and the photos are actually in the article as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you can post that up for people to read, because you've already spoke about the box, and it'll be nice for people to sort of get that in depth. I mean, writing about the paranormal has got to be completely opposite to investigating it.
Yeah. It was my mission this year, New Year's resolution, to write a book. That's before all this stuff started.
Yeah.
And I've done about 35,000 words so far.
Wow.
So I'm getting there. I just went a bit crazy last night. I thought, I can't do this. But yeah, it's basically about my paranormal journey.
Yeah.
The sort of spirituality, locations I've been to, things like that.
Yeah.
It covers the article of the box.
Mm-hmm.
My car is a bit strange as well. That was owned by my mum.
Oh, okay.
I get a lot of weird interaction with that, including the gearbox was gone twice.
Wow. Well, that could just be put down to bad luck.
No, but it didn't. That was the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that was quite interesting because I had that issue at Matlock Pavilion that first time. I nearly quit paranormal for good. Oh. I couldn't sleep that night. I was scared to death.
Wow.
I thought, I'm never doing paranormal again because I was just out of control that night and like, what the hell,
Yeah.
I drove home, I was like virtually shaking. Luckily, I got somebody in the car with me that night. And, I left all the lights on when I got home and morning came and I finally thought I could go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm never doing that again. And then I woke up and thought, yeah, I want to do this more.
It's funny how a bit of sleep can change your mind, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I really do.
My New Year's resolution is to write my book, and I think I've done so far. I think I've done about 7 words, so you've topped me, Jaqueline.
That's true.
I've done a title.
I discussed it with Neil Packer, and he brought his book out ages ago.
Do you know what? I didn't even know Neil had wrote a book.
Yeah, I think it's called Be Curious in the Mirror. So, yeah, it's a brilliant book. It's about his journey with Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre.
I'm going to have a read of that. I mean,
so yeah, you've definitely got to read that one. It's an ideal present for Christmas. So many of my friends have actually written books, and like, I'm trying to get one out there, and I think I've got somebody racing to do a forward. I've sorted out who's going to design the cover of it. So I'm just going to do some writing now.
yeah. You've got like the sort of the baby steps done. It's just the main part now, and that's what I struggle with. It's like you sort of get all like, I'm going to do this, and I plan this, and I've done a storyboard, and I've got this done, and I've got this done, and then when you actually sit down and you start, right, I'm going to write something, your mind goes completely blank, and you're like, where do I go now?
Yeah, I'm getting the chapters mixed up. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So you're writing and you think, well, I've written that already. But I've got this software which Neil Packer told me about. So I'm using that, and it actually gives you the titles. You can see the titles along one side and then the item, what you're typing, so you know where you're at.
Oh, yeah. No, that would help me. I have to have a word with Neil because he withheld that information from me last week. So I'll
tell you afterwards anyway. Let you know.
No, I think we're going to get him and Jane on the show anyway soon. So it'd be great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So paranormally, I mean, you've got a book on the way. You run what I would say a very constructive Facebook page. You've got investigations coming up next year. Your development is going to a point where you're going to carry that on. I mean, to hit us with what you've got coming up over the Christmas period and beyond. Have you got anything sort of in the woodworks?
Yeah, I've got Laurie Schaefer on my show, Haunted Antiques show.
Yeah.
Well, on Monday I've got a discussion show with Tina Howard and Barry Frankish.
Yeah.
So that's going out on the Haunted Antiques page. Mm-hmm. The following week I'm speaking to Laurie Schaefer.
Yeah.
The day before Paranormal Captured is out.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be interesting. But I've worked with her before, so we have a bit of a laugh. So that show's going to be quite insane. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also taking part in the Haunted Antiques Paracon.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing a sort of Paracon, which gives different teams, smaller teams, to get out there.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So
that's good.
basically, I don't know what day it starts. Maybe Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve,
Oh, okay. No, that's
and
good.
different teams have slots. So yeah, that's going to be interesting just to see how the different teams are, who they are, and how they work. Really.
Yeah, because every team obviously works differently. I mean, if anyone
Yeah,
wants to get a hold of you, Jaqueline, and they want to sort of see your shows, I mean, what sort of where would they go? Like, is it all on Facebook?
yeah. The shows are Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre page.
Mm-hmm.
My Facebook is Paranormal Path.
Yep.
So I don't know if you can message on a group or not.
I
But
think you
if somebody just
can.
leaves a note for me to PM them or something.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask about stuff with Facebook because I am
With
completely
it being a
technophobe.
group, it's different from a page.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I couldn't tell you. I mean,
Yeah.
it's taken me 15 weeks to get the stream to where I want it at. So I'm not technically gifted in that sense, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Jaqueline, you're making moves in the paranormal world. It's great to see people out there who are making these connections and getting the evidence and getting the people out there. I mean, it's great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Alright, alright, Jack. I'm going to say bye because it's nearly the end of the show. I'm nearly on my time
Yeah,
slot.
thank you.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. Thank you for coming on. Honestly, Jaqueline. We hopefully I can get you on the show again soon.
Yeah, okay, thanks for that.
That's all
Bye.
right. Take care. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. So yeah, everybody, that's Jaqueline Dixon. Don't forget to go and check out her Facebook page. It's Paranormal Path, and she also does shows over there on the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre, HAPRC for short. Also, keep an eye out for a book. It's on its way. So don't forget, guys, it's the Demonologist UK. Next week we've got Sean Irwin on the show. He's going to be talking about his experiences within the paranormal. We're also going to be talking to him about things that have happened to him. We're going to analyse. So next week's going to be a bit of a different show. I want to sort of take it to a level where we sort of analyse, and I want to get your guys' input. So if anybody's actually listening to the podcast or watching this show back on a repeat, on my page, if you do want to get involved with the conversation here on the Demonologist UK, all you have to do is at 8:30 every Friday I will be live from the Facebook page. Now, to everybody out there who once had experience, whether I've so yeah, if you do want to be on the show, I don't know why my OBS keeps disconnecting. It's really driving me insane. So yeah, if you do want to be on the show, all you have to do is contact me. Just let me know, message me on Facebook. I mean, out to every single person that locks in every week: Kathy Adams, Ben Winfield, Chelsea, Louisa. I mean, there's so many regulars that pop in. It's been great for you supporting me. I mean, I've got to send a massive shout out to my partner who supports me through all this. She sits there and she has to listen to all this, and she gives me some great feedback when it's finished. I mean, it's been great. The journey's been great. Don't forget, next week is my final show before Christmas. I will not be back till the 8th of January, okay? I will stick a video out there wishing all the people that are locked in, all the people that watch my videos, all the people that are signed up to the Facebook page. I'm going to send a little video out to you guys wishing you all a Merry Christmas, because at the end of the day, without you, there would be